Gather up your projects, settle in your favorite spot. It's time to stitch with Sarah at her stitchy Camelot. Let's celebrate each other, this community we've got. It's time to get down to Sarah's stitchy spot.
Hello everyone, my name is Sarah. Welcome to my FlossTube channel, where we will discuss and celebrate all things cross-stitch. Grab your favorite beverage, get comfortable, and join me
at Sarah's stitchy spot.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and this is FlossTube number 8. It is Wednesday, October 12th, 2022. I am filming this video today from Ketchum, Idaho. Stan and I are here on holiday, enjoying magnificent scenery, beautiful weather. The leaves are changing. There's mountains everywhere. It's just a perfect place for a holiday. I will interject here that there might be some extraneous noise. We are in a smaller condo, and Stan is out for a walk, but he may come back in and you may hear it, and then I may have to have him say hello to you. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, I want to take this moment to welcome each and every one of you to my FlossTube channel. If you're new to this channel and you like what you see, I hope you'll subscribe, like the video, share, ring the bell, and do all the things that we do on FlossTube. If you're returning, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I have enjoyed your comments over the last 2 weeks. I've enjoyed responding to your comments, and I hope you keep those coming. I do want to make a mention, and I will start doing that at the beginning of all my videos, that if you are new to this channel, the amazing intro you heard was written and performed by my husband, Stan, and I just want to share that with all of you. He does sing it personally in, I think, FlossTube number 3, if you want to meet him and hear him sing it live. So, what have we got today? I want to do just a little bit of business. I've had some very exciting things happen. As you all know, my oldest daughter had her 50th birthday, and we had a lot of family to celebrate that, and I will put a picture here of her and I together. My granddaughter, Molly, came for a visit, and I was able to give her pillow that I made for her of the Tudor Bee by the Blue Flower, and I will insert a picture here of her and I with the pillow. So we've had a lot of family time right before we left for Idaho. But for all of you who I know watch Jan Hicks of Jan Hicks Creates, the highlight of my trip was that Jan and her husband Mike came over to Ketchum to attend the trailing of the sheep. And if you go to and watch Jan's latest video at Jan Hicks Creates, she has wonderful video and pictures and knows the history of the sheep herding in the area, and I encourage you to watch that and get an idea of the festivities that were going on. But when we realized that we were going to be here, I reached out to Jan and said, "Would you like to have lunch, and then we could go to the parade?" And they accepted. And Jan and Mike came, and we had lunch here at the condo. We went to the parade. And then we came back here and spent 4 or 5 hours just talking and having the time of, I was trying so hard not to be a fangirl, but as you all know, I started Antonia, Roselle, Garcia, and so I got to have Jan autograph my chart and see the work that I'd done so far. Just having someone in the same room with me that we could talk cross-stitch nonstop, although we talked about many other things. But to be able to talk about cross-stitch with another person that loves it like I do was so meaningful. And Jan, of course, is she's so knowledgeable. She's so talented, and it was an absolutely incredible experience for me. And I know it's the start of a friendship that will last for many years. So, Jan, thank you for coming. Mike, it was lovely to meet you. I'm speechless. Anyway, so that's just the bit of my life experiences I wanted to share with you. I do have a couple of comments that I wanted to address. Lenny from the Sable Stitchers mentioned in a comment to me that she could only find the 32 count, I think it was granite splash or basalt splash, because she has the pattern for Dancer that you've all seen that I finished. She wanted to know if I stitched it 1/2, and I did. I could not find a 36 count in that fabric. And so, Lenny, I did stitch it 1/2 with the call for DMC. But I remembered in addressing that comment that one of the things I don't think I shared with you guys was that I did use the sulky white when it called for white, which had just a little bit of extra coverage, and I thought maybe gave it just a little more dimension. So I wanted to make sure that I clarified that and shared that with Lenny and any of you that were interested in that. I could not find a 36 count in that type of fabric, which I really wanted for that piece. Secondly, Jean, you asked why I like to stitch with one thread so much. One, it is, to me, it's just incredibly easier. I think that the stitches have a 100% better chance of looking really good, as opposed to trying to lay 2 threads down, flat and to make those stitches look perfect. So in some respects, it is sort of an easier way out, but I do enjoy, I don't like that feeling of the threads being bulky in the hole. And so that is why I've chosen on almost everything I stitch. I do 1 thread over 2. So Jean, I wanted to address that for you. Next, I wanted to give a couple of shout outs to FlossTubes that I have been watching that I think that some of you will enjoy very much. The first one is Phoebe Moon. I will put a link to her below. She has an incredible range of pieces that she stitches on. Samplers, it's just, and it's beautiful stitching. She often dyes her own fabric, and that is gorgeous. Now, the thing I do want to clarify with Phoebe Moon's channel, you want to make sure that you pick the floss tube. She does do nail polish, and she does mixing and of nail polish, and she sells that, and she shows various things. And I want, so if you're interested in that, it's amazing. But if you're not, make sure that you just select the videos that have a floss tube designation. The other one that I wanted to mention was Molly West, the Sensible Stitcher. Again, she is new to me. One of my viewers mentioned that I might enjoy her floss tubes, and I do very much. She did take a hiatus over the summer, but she is back, and it appears that she's putting up floss tubes regularly. Again, she has a beautiful choice in patterns, charts, and beautiful stitching. So those were 2 floss tubers that I did want to mention today. I would like to say that I have heard from a lot of people that are in Florida and Nova Scotia, and have heard that they did well, that their homes are okay. Some had very minor damage, got their electricity and power and water back very quickly. Unfortunately, probably the ones that I am not hearing from may have suffered more damage and are still awaiting getting back their power and internet and those things, plus looking ahead at probably rebuilding and all of those things that they're going to have to deal with. So again, all of you, that were in Ian's path, and I'm blanking on the hurricane that went up to Nova Scotia. I think it was Fiona. I am keeping you in my heart, and hope that recovery goes quickly and speedy, and that you get back to your lives and the normalcy that I'm sure that you all miss. So I had one new start. I will go over my whips. I don't have any haul this week because I've been traveling, and let's get started. Okay, so my, I did want to show you my, my book, as I always do. I've got it set up for October, and what I've been stitching on. And it's kind of hard to read, but I have a exclamation that I met Jan Hicks that day. Is that the correct day? Yes. So those are the pieces that I've been stitching on, and we will jump right into my new start, which is Halloween by Not Forgotten Farm. This was one of the charts that I showed you all when I was picking fall and Halloween charts. There we go. This is, again, by Not Forgotten Farm. I am stitching this on a 36 count agave with the called for DMC. And this has sort of been my car stitching piece on this trip. And so this is how much I've gotten done so far. So there, it's just a delightful stitch, and will be, I think, finished by Halloween. So that's Halloween by Not Forgotten Farm, and that was my new start. Okay. Now, let's get into whips, and my first one will be Mary 395 by Hands Across the Sea. This is the chart. And I am stitching this on 36 count antique ivory using Gloriana Poinsettia. And then I am picking a couple of the smaller alphabets, and I will do those in Hollyberry. And this is my progress so far. Let's see if we can get that. So I completed, I think, almost another row. I love this piece. This is a comfort piece for me. Of course, you can kind of see my boo-boo down here at this end. The letters are kind of sitting on top of each other. Although I did notice that in looking at the chart, one of the alphabets, I think, that I am coming to sits on top of each other. So, you know, maybe it'll look okay when they're all together. So that is Mary 395 by Hands Across the Sea. The next piece that I have been working on is Lady Halloween by Jardin Prive, and this is the chart. I am doing it in black only. I'm using a antique black by Tga Red. And I am stitching this on 36 count mellow by Picture This Plus. And this is what I have accomplished. That's not even a hanging thread. It's not even the right color. Okay, anyway, so this is what I've done so far. I completed this medallion right in here. And I'm working on the flowers around that piece. This will not be finished by Halloween this year, but I will continue to work on that. So Lady Halloween by Jardin Prive. And I probably will continue to work on this also through for a while in November because of Black Sampler November. I don't know if I will oh, who's kidding who? I'll probably start another black sampler as well, but I have that one to work on as well. Okay, so next we've got a crowd pleaser, which is the Red Deer Sampler. Here we go, by GiGiR. Stitched on that wacko 36 count 1001 Nights by XJU Designs. And this is my progress so far. So I'm completing more of these large flowers in here. The Red Deer Sampler. And as many of you know, I'm working on this, and I don't know that I've made a post yet, but hashtag Red Deer Sampler SAL, working this also with Andrea of on Instagram at Phil and 69, and I'll have that listed below. So that is my Red Deer Sampler. Okay, and next we will go to pandemic. I actually put a little work into pandemic. In fact, you know, I just wanted to share, it's so amazing that when you look at these pieces and they look so complicated, that sometimes I will actually go to this when I feel a little stressed, a little uneasy. I find it a beautifully comforting stitch. Probably some of it has to do with the fact that it is just one color, but things come alive as you stitch, and it's quite glorious. So and I'm stitching this on a 32 count platinum Lugana, and I am using DMC 310. And let's see if we can get back far enough. So I have completed all the way across except for that furthest border right here, that one line going down. And I am working in the middle, that area under the deer. So that is Pandemic by Long Dog Sampler. My comfort stitch. Okay, I have such big pieces to fold up. Lots of fabric. Okay, so that is Pandemic by Long Dog Sampler. My next piece is Jan Hicks' piece, which is Antonia, Roselle y Garcia, 1886. And this is the chart. And I am stitching this on a 36 count Hint of Orange by XJU Designs, using conversion of Vicki Clayton silks. And I am doing what is considered the bright version. Jan charted this both from the front of the chart, which will be the more faded, muted colors, and then she did a conversion for the back of the chart, which tends to be brighter because they've been protected from the sun. And this is my progress so far on Antonia. I love this green alphabet. Isn't that just gorgeous? This is a Spanish sampler, and my first one, and I am enjoying it very much. And of course, now I have the added pleasure and joy of having met Jan, and I will think about that often as I stitch this piece. So, Antonia, Roselle y Garcia by Jan Hicks Creates. Last time we met, I told you that I had decided to pick a focus piece and try to put 7 days on it each month. And my focus piece for this month of October is Fruits of Plenty by Modern Folk Embroidery. I didn't pick my oldest whip. but I did pick one that I have been working on for quite some time, and I really am, in the big picture of things, very close to a finish. So I am stitching this on a 36 count ivory even weave, and I am using DMC 939 and 932. And this is, let's get this up right. This is my piece. So I will raise that up. And as you can see, I am working down in the far right corner. And I've made quite a bit of progress since you saw that last on that corner. So I'm going to, my plans are to give this 7 days each month until I have completed it. And I'm thinking that maybe it'll only take, a couple of months, and then I'll have this finished. So that's Fruits of Plenty by Modern Folk Embroidery. And that will be my focus piece until I have finished it. Okay, my next piece is Beautiful Things by Lindy Stitches, and this is the chart. And it says, "Oh, my darling, it's true. Beautiful things have dents and scratches too." This is the piece that my oldest daughter saw me working on and said, "Mother, that I would love to have that piece." And as we have all discussed in the comments, and we all know, there's nothing that makes a stitcher happier than someone to want one of your pieces, especially a child. So this is my progress so far on Beautiful Things. So the bird is completed, and I am working on this large urn. I did get a couple of letters in as well. And I didn't tell you, I am stitching this on 36 count earthen by Picture This Plus, and I'm using the called for DMC, and there are some over-dyed floss as well. So that is Beautiful Things by Lindy Stitches. Okay. My next piece is Tga Red Work Sampler. I think I just had a, no, I didn't lose it. Okay, Tga Red Work Sampler by Just Stitching Along, Krista Grammer, and this is the chart. And I am stitching this on 37 count Legacy Russian tea cake using Swattage 946 and 4636, and then the called for DMC, and I think there's a couple of over-dyed threads as well. And this is my progress. So I am just about halfway through. The basket of flowers is completed. I've got just a little bit of the top alphabet, and that will be a page finish. So this is Tga Red Work Sampler by Just Stitching Along. Okay. Now, I may have to take a second to regroup and see if I lost anything in the shuffle, but I think we are okay. Let me see if this is the chart. It is. Okay. So my next piece that I've been working on is Candy Cane Wishes by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. Make sure that's correct. Yes. This was a piece I started in July for Christmas in July. And I am stitching this on 36 count Aspen with the called for over-dyed floss. This one may be a piece that's just a little bit harder to see in this light, but I got a lot done on the snowman. So that's where I am. Again, this is Candy Cane Wishes by Brenda Gervais. So, got that done. My next piece is Miss Sarah Jane, which this is the chart. And this is my 25 minutes, 2 threads a day stitch. And I will show you my progress. I am stitching this on 32 count straw linen, 1/2 threads with the called for DMC. And I am nearly at the bottom of the ruffles on her dress. I have also, again, been working on this flower, and we'll start down with that vine. And this is by Lottie Da. I'm sorry, I didn't say that. Miss Sarah Jane by Lottie Da. So sweet. Has sort of a Mary Poppins vibe with the little bird. You know, it's singing a beautiful song to her. Okay, so Miss Sarah Jane by Lottie Da. My final piece that I've been working on, because I picked it for, I wanted to concentrate on it because of the month of October, is Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. I'm stitching this on 36 count Indora by Needle and Flax, and I'm doing it with the conversion to Victoria Clayton Silks. And this is the chart. And this is my work, which I got quite a bit done in the last couple of days. So I've worked on the border some. I got another bird done. I have now started on the house. And this is just an absolutely perfect piece of fabric for this piece. Very spooky. So that is Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. So those are my whips. I know that this has been a shorter video than normal, but I appreciate your patience with me in this new environment. It does feel a little disorienting, not having everything like I do at home and not knowing my lighting like I do at home. But it's a way still to touch base with all of you. I miss you when I don't do this, and I love, as we've talked about, getting all your comments. I do want to mention something, and I hope I can get through it without getting emotional. But I mentioned in my last floss tube that my unicorn pieces were Ida Ray and Ida May by The Good Housewife. Well, I got an email from Julie of Running with Scissors, Stitching with Jane and Julie. She was not in town at the time, but she had stitched these pieces, and she thought that she still had the charts. She got home. She did. She has sent them to me. I think they are at my home. I got a notification that they had been delivered. And so I will share them with you all when I do my next video and I have them in my hand. But the kindness, and I have seen this over and over in so many of the FlossTubes, that you mention something in passing, something that means something to you, but you mention it. And someone hears you, and someone reaches out, and someone tries to make that dream come true. And Julie did that. And I encourage you, if you take a look at their last video, and again, that is Running with Scissors, Stitching with Jane and Julie, and I will put a link to that below. you can see Julie's finished pieces of Ida Mae and Ira Ray by the Good Housewife. And Julie, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I will continue to thank you. The only thing Julie wanted was me to make sure that when I completed stitching them, that they went on to someone else that wants to stitch them as well. And I will make sure that that happens, and I will make sure that that happens in a timely fashion. And I've got all of you to keep me on track to make sure that that is what happens. So I think that's the video for today. I know it's short, and I'll make up for it. Again, thank you all for watching. If you like what you see, I do hope you'll subscribe, ring the bell, share, like the video. I love growing my family with all of you. So I think that I have covered everything that I have in front of me. So grab your stitching, get comfortable, and stitch what you love. Bye now.